In the vast expanse of the Milky Way galaxy, countless alien races lived and thrived. They had built mighty empires, forged alliances, and explored the farthest reaches of space. Among these advanced civilizations, humans were the new kids on the block. Earth had only recently joined the galactic community, and its people were still finding their footing among the stars. The problem was, nobody took humans seriously. On a busy space station orbiting the neutral planet 09, representatives from various alien species gathered in a large meeting hall. The air buzzed with chatter in dozens of languages, translated instantly by small devices worn by each delegate. Grakthar, a towering insectoid from the warrior race of Arthan, clicked his mandibles in annoyance. Why are we even allowing the humans to attend these meetings? Their territory is tiny, their fleet is a joke, and they have nothing to offer the galaxy. Beside him, Sinlura, a graceful being made of shimmering energy, pulsed in agreement. I heard their largest battleship is smaller than our cargo vessels. It's almost cute how they think they can play with the big boys. Laughter rippled through the group. None of them noticed the human representative, Sarah Chen, standing quietly nearby. Her face remained neutral, but her hands clenched tightly at her sides. At the front of the hall, a holographic display flickered to life. It showed a map of the galaxy, with various territories highlighted in different colors. The human-controlled space was barely visible, a tiny speck of blue amid vast swaths of alien-held systems. The Galactic Council leader, an ancient and respected Quarian named Zexali, raised all four of his arms for silence. Esteemed colleagues, his voice boomed, we face a grave threat. The swarm approaches from the galactic east, consuming everything in its path. A chill fell over the room. Everyone had heard of the swarm, a mindless horde of bioengineered weapons that had gone rogue. They devoured entire planets, using the resources to replicate endlessly. Zexali continued, our combined fleets have failed to halt their advance. We need new strategies, new weapons. Any race with ideas or resources to offer, step forward now. Grakthar immediately strode to the front. The Arthan Empire pledges 10,000 warships to the cause. We will crush these vermin beneath our might. Cheers erupted from his supporters. Other races made their offers. Energy weapons, shield technology, faster than light drives. Each pledge was met with approval from the crowd. Then, a small voice spoke up. Earth would like to help. The room fell silent, then burst into laughter. Sarah Chen stood firm, her chin raised as she faced the ridicule. Zinlura's energy form rippled with mirth. Oh, this is precious. And what will the humans offer? Perhaps you can send the swarm a strongly worded letter. We have a fleet, Sarah said calmly. It's small, but highly advanced. We believe our technology could be effective against the swarm. Grakthar's laughter was like grinding stones. Your entire fleet could fit in one of our cargo bays. What good could it possibly do against a galaxy-wide threat? Sarah opened her mouth to argue, but Zexali cut her off. While we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, this is a matter for the established powers of the galaxy. Perhaps in a few centuries, humans will be ready to contribute meaningfully to such efforts. Red-faced but dignified, Sarah returned to her seat. The meeting continued, with grand plans and boastful claims filling the air. No one paid any attention to the lone human in their midst. As the delegates filed out later, Sarah overheard snippets of conversation. Can you believe the nerve of those humans? I almost feel bad for them. They're so out of their depth. Maybe we should give them a participation trophy. That's a human thing, right? Sarah gritted her teeth and headed for the spaceport. As she walked, she tapped a communication device on her wrist. Chen to Earth Command. You were right. They won't listen, and they won't take us seriously. A gruff voice replied. Understood, Ambassador. Implement Phase 2. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do. Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she boarded her ship. The aliens thought they knew everything about Earth's capabilities. They were in for one hell of a surprise. As her vessel broke orbit and headed for the jump point, Sarah looked back at the glittering space station. "Laugh while you can," she murmured. "You have no idea what's coming." The tiny human ship vanished into hyperspace, leaving no trace behind. The galaxy continued to turn, blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to break upon it, a storm with humanity at its center. 3 standard galactic weeks had passed since the meeting on Zernine. The swarm's advance continued unchecked, swallowing star systems whole. Panic spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On the Arthan homeworld, Grakthar paced in the war room, his chidness legs clicking against the metal floor. Holographic displays showed the latest battle reports. All losses. "Impossible," he roared, smashing a claw through one of the displays. "Our mighty fleets, reduced to scrap by these mindless drones." A junior officer scuttled in, antennae twitching nervously. "Supreme Commander, we've lost contact with the Sinlara defense line. The swarm, they've broken through." Grakthar's mandibles clacked in dismay. The Sinlara were energy beings, masters of advanced shield technology. If they had fallen, "Send word to the Galactic Council," he growled. "We need to combine all our remaining forces for a last stand." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. Great empires crumbled, mighty fleets were scattered, and billions fled their homes as the swarm drew ever closer to the galactic core. On Earth, however, the mood was different. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a hidden command center, military and scientific leaders gathered around a holographic display of the galaxy. Unlike the alien maps, this one showed detailed swarm movements, resource consumption rates, and predicted attack vectors. Admiral Helena Chen, Sarah's mother, studied the data with stern concentration. "The swarm's adapting faster than we anticipated. We'll have to move up the timetable." Dr. Amit Patel, Earth's leading xenobiologist, nodded in agreement. "My team's latest simulations confirm it. If we don't act within the next 72 hours, even our countermeasures might not be enough." A murmur ran through the assembled leaders. They had hoped for more time, but it seemed the galaxy's plight was more desperate than they had realized. President Olivia Marsh stepped forward, her weathered face set with determination. "Then we have no choice. Send the signal. It's time for Operation Trojan Horse." Across human space, hidden shipyards sprang to life. Vessels that had been disguised as asteroids or cloaked in sensor-absorbing materials revealed themselves. The true extent of Earth's fleet became apparent. Not the handful of ships the aliens had mocked, but thousands of advanced warships, each bristling with technology beyond anything the galaxy had seen. On the bridge of the flagship Humanity's Hope, Sarah Chen stood beside Captain Miguel Reyes. She watched as ships of all sizes fell into formation around them. "I still can't believe we managed to keep all this secret," she mused. Reyes grinned. "That's the advantage of being underestimated. No one bothers to look too closely at the primitive humans." A communication officer called out, "Admiral on screen." Admiral Chen's face appeared on the main view screen. "This is it, people. Everything we've worked for comes down to the next few days. The galaxy thinks we're helpless. It's time to show them what humanity can really do." Cheers erupted across the fleet. Sarah felt a swell of pride. Yes, Earth was young in galactic terms, but they had used that time wisely, learning from the mistakes of older races and developing technologies in secret. As the human fleet prepared to jump to light speed, news of their existence spread rapidly. On Zernine, in the same hall where Earth had been mocked weeks earlier, alien representatives gathered in shocked disbelief. Sinlara's energy form pulsed erratically. "It's impossible. Where did all these ships come from?" Zexole, the Quarian leader, stared at the reports with all 4 eyes wide. "It seems we have gravely underestimated our human friends." Grakthar, watching via holographic link from his besieged homeworld, shuddered in a mixture of anger and hope. "I don't care where they came from. Can they fight? Can they save us from the swarm?" As if in answer, new reports flooded in. The human fleet had engaged the swarm at the fallen Sinlara defense line. Witnesses described weapons that seemed to shut down the swarm ships, defenses that adapted in real time to attacks, and tactics unlike anything seen before. For the first time since the swarm appeared, the unstoppable tide was being pushed back. In the void of space, humanity's fleet pressed their advantage. Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of humanity's hope as human ingenuity clashed with the mindless onslaught of the swarm. The battle for the galaxy had truly begun. The battle raged across the stars. Human ships danced through the void, their movements precise and unpredictable. The swarm, for the first time, seemed confused. On the bridge of humanity's hope, Sarah Chen watched the tactical display with growing excitement. "It's working," she exclaimed. "The swarm can't adapt to our quantum shift drives." Captain Reyes nodded, his eyes never leaving the battle projections. "And our biomechanical disruptors are shutting them down faster than they can replicate. We might actually win this." But victory wouldn't come easy. As if sensing the tide turning against them, the swarm launched a massive counterattack. Millions of drone ships swarmed towards the human fleet, a wall of destruction that blotted out the stars. "Incoming," shouted the sensor officer. "They're targeting our flagship." Reyes barked orders, his voice calm despite the danger. "Activate phase shields. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The ship hummed as its advanced defenses came online. Just in time, too. The first wave of swarm attackers crashed against the shields like waves against a cliff. Energy weapons, projectiles, even kamikaze drones, all were deflected or absorbed. Sarah gripped her console, watching in awe as humanity's hope shrugged off attacks that would have vaporized most alien battleships. But she knew they couldn't hold out forever. "We need reinforcements," she said, turning to Reyes. "What about our allies?" The captain's face was grim. "Most of them are still regrouping after their earlier defeats, but—" He paused, checking a private channel on his wrist computer. A slow smile spread across his face. "Looks like some of them got their act together after all." Suddenly, new signals appeared on the tactical display. A fleet of Arthon warships dropped out of hyperspace, their insectoid designs bristling with weapons. Leading them was a massive dreadnought, easily recognizable as Grakthar's flagship. "This is Supreme Commander Grakthar, to human fleet." The alien's voice crackled over the comm. "We stand ready to assist. Your bravery has impressed us." Sarah couldn't help but grin at the grudging respect in Grakthar's tone. "Glad to have you with us, Commander," she replied. "Let's show the swarm what a united galaxy can do." With the Arthon reinforcements, the tide of battle shifted once again. Human ingenuity combined with Arthon firepower, creating a formidable fighting force. The swarm's numbers began to dwindle. But the hive mind controlling the swarm wasn't about to give up. It launched a new tactic, concentrating its remaining forces into a massive, spiraling structure. Energy began to build at its center, growing to terrifying levels. "Analysis complete," reported Dr. Padel from his science station. "They're trying to create a controlled singularity. If they succeed, it could tear a hole in space-time and allow them to escape." Reyes' face hardened. "We can't let that happen. They'll just regroup and attack somewhere else." He opened a channel to the entire fleet. "All ships, focus fire on the swarm's central structure. We have to disrupt their plans." Human and Arthon ships alike poured everything they had into the attack. But the swarm's defenses held, the singularity growing larger by the second. In the midst of the chaos, Sarah had an idea. She rushed to Dr. Patel's station, pointing at a specific readout. "Look at these energy patterns. They're similar to our quantum shift drives, but inverted." Patel's eyes widened in understanding. "If we could synchronize our drives with their energy output, we could collapse the singularity from the inside." Sarah finished. They quickly explained the plan to Reyes and Admiral Chen. It was risky. It would require perfect timing and coordination. But it was their best shot. "Do it," ordered the Admiral. Sarah found herself back on the comm with Grakthar. "Commander, we need your ships to keep the swarm distracted. Can you give us an opening?" The Arthon's mandibles clicked in what might have been a chuckle. "With pleasure, human. Watch how real warriors fight." The Arthon fleet surged forward in a daring charge, drawing the swarm's attention. Meanwhile, the human ships moved into position, their quantum shift drives spooling up to maximum power. "On my mark," Reyes called out, his voice steady. The bridge was silent, every crew member holding their breath. The singularity loomed before them, a hungry maw ready to swallow the galaxy. Now, in perfect unison, the human fleet activated their drives. Space itself seemed to ripple and twist. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent flash that outshone nearby stars, the swarm's carefully constructed singularity collapsed in on itself. The effect was catastrophic for the swarm. Without the singularity to stabilize their structure, the entire swarm fleet began to break apart. Ship after ship went dark, the controlling intelligence snuffed out in an instant. On the bridge of humanity's hope, cheers erupted. Sarah found herself swept up in a hug by Dr. Patel, both of them laughing in sheer relief. As the remnants of the swarm drifted lifelessly through space, Grakthar's voice came over the comm once more. But this time, there was no mockery in his tone, only respect. "Well fought, allies." In the days following the swarm's defeat, the galaxy buzzed with activity. Celebration mixed with disbelief as news of humanity's pivotal role spread. The once mocked tiny fleet was now the center of attention. On Zur-9, the neutral planet that had hosted the fateful meeting weeks ago, another gathering was taking place. This time, the atmosphere was very different. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, facing a sea of alien faces. Many looked at her with newfound respect, others with curiosity, and some with poorly hidden envy. On behalf of Earth and humanity, she began, her voice steady. "We thank you for this opportunity to address the Galactic Council. We came here not to boast, but to extend a hand of true partnership." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Sinlura, the energy being who had once mocked humans, pulsed with a mix of emotions. "Partnership," their translator squeaked. "After we dismissed you. After we laughed." Sarah smiled. "Yes, because that's what humanity does. We learn, we adapt, and we move forward. We don't hold grudges. We build bridges." She gestured to a holographic display behind her. It showed schematics of human technology, the quantum shift drives, the phase shields, the biomechanical disruptors that had turned the tide against the swarm. "We offer to share our advancements with all peaceful races," Sarah continued. "In return, we ask only for cooperation and open exchange of knowledge." The hall erupted in excited chatter. Grakthar, now a hero among his people for his role in the battle, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "And what guarantees do we have that humans won't use this partnership to dominate us?" A deep voice answered from the back of the hall. "You have my word." All eyes turned to see Admiral Helena Chen striding down the aisle. Her uniform was crisp, her posture straight despite the heavy responsibility she carried. "Humanity could have kept our true capabilities secret," the Admiral said, joining Sarah at the podium. "We could have let the swarm weaken you further before revealing ourselves. But we didn't, because that's not who we are." She paused, looking out at the assembled aliens. "We seek to uplift, not to conquer. To explore, not to exploit. The galaxy is vast, and there are wonders and threats out there that none of us can face alone." Her words seemed to resonate with many in the audience. Even Zexali, the ancient Quarian leader, nodded slowly in agreement. But not everyone was convinced. A reptilian delegate hissed, "Pretty words, but actions speak louder. How do we know you won't turn on us once we've shared our own secrets?" Sarah stepped forward again. "A fair question. Which is why we propose the formation of a new body, the Galactic Unity Council. All member races would have equal representation. Major decisions, including the use of shared technology, would require consensus. She brought up another holographic display, this one showing a massive space station of unique design. We also propose building a headquarters for this council, a neutral ground where we can all meet, work, and learn from each other. The hall fell silent as the implications sank in. What humanity was proposing wasn't just an alliance, but a fundamental reshaping of galactic society. Dinlara's energy form pulsed rapidly. This is unprecedented. The older races have always led. To put ourselves on equal footing with younger species. Change is scary, Admiral Chen acknowledged. But it's also necessary. The swarm proved that our old ways of doing things aren't enough anymore. Grakthar suddenly let out a booming laugh. Ha! The humans teach us another lesson. We thought ourselves mighty, yet it took this tiny fleet to show us true strength, the strength of unity. His words seemed to break the tension. Soon, delegates were coming forward, voicing support for the human proposal. Even those who had doubts seemed willing to consider the idea. As the meeting continued, with details being hashed out and plans being made, Sarah found a quiet moment with her mother. "Do you think this will work?" she asked softly. Admiral Chen smiled, putting an arm around her daughter's shoulders. "It won't be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, maybe even conflicts. But yes, I think it will work, because it has to." She looked out at the diverse gathering of species, all talking animatedly about the future. We've shown them what humanity can do. Now it's time to show them who we really are. As if on cue, a group of alien delegates approached, eager to speak with the humans who had changed everything. Sarah straightened her back, ready to face whatever came next. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity was ready to lead the way into a new era of cooperation and discovery. 5 years had passed since the formation of the Galactic Unity Council. The massive space station, aptly named Unity, hung in neutral space, a shining symbol of interspecies cooperation. Today, it buzzed with more activity than usual. Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the Council, hurried through the crowded corridors. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved aside respectfully as she passed. It was a far cry from the dismissive treatment humans had once received. She entered the main chamber just as the session was beginning. The circular room was filled with representatives from hundreds of worlds. At the center stood a holographic projection of a distant star system. Zexility, the Quarian elder who now served as the council's moderator, raised all 4 arms for silence. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, "we face a new challenge. Our deep space probes have detected an anomaly in the Andromeda galaxy. It appears to be artificial." Excited murmurs filled the room. Contact with another galaxy. It was unprecedented. Grakthar, the Arthan commander who had become one of humanity's staunchest allies, clicked his mandibles. "Is it a threat?" "Another swarm." "Unknown," Zexeli replied. "But the energy readings are off the charts. Whatever it is, it's immensely powerful." Sarah stood up. "This is exactly why we formed this council, to face the unknown together. I propose we send a joint expedition to investigate." Zinlara's energy form pulsed in agreement. Agreed. But the journey to Andromeda would take centuries with conventional drives. A smile played on Sarah's lips. "Not necessarily. Dr. Patel, if you would." The human scientist stepped forward, his excitement palpable. "We've been working on something new, a fusion of our quantum shift technology and Zinlara phase mechanics. In theory, it could create a stable wormhole directly to Andromeda." The chamber erupted in shocked exclamations. Faster than light travel was one thing, but crossing galaxies in an instant, it seemed impossible. Grakthar's booming laugh cut through the noise. "Humans, always full of surprises, but who would crew such a mission? The risks are enormous." "I volunteer," Sarah said firmly. "As does Captain Rise of the Humanities Hope." One by one, representatives from other races stood up, offering their best and brightest for the mission. The spirit of unity that had begun 5 years ago was stronger than ever. Over the next few months, preparations for the expedition moved at a frantic pace. A new ship, the Andromeda Explorer, was built using technology from a dozen different species. Its crew was just as diverse, a microcosm of the galactic community. On the day of launch, Unity Station was packed with spectators. Sarah stood on the bridge of the Explorer, looking out at the assembled fleet that would accompany them to the wormhole site. Captain Rice, now sporting a few gray hairs from years of adventure, sat in the command chair. "Having second thoughts, Ambassador?" he asked with a grin. Sarah shook her head. "Not a chance. This is what we've been working towards all along. To explore, to discover, to push the boundaries of what's possible." The ship hummed to life around them. Crew members from a dozen worlds worked in perfect harmony, each bringing their unique skills to the mission. As the Explorer moved into position, Sarah couldn't help but think back to that first meeting on Zur-9, when humans had been mocked and dismissed. How far they had come since then, not through domination or force, but through cooperation and mutual respect. "Wormhole generator is charged and ready," reported the Sinlara science officer, their energy form pulsing with excitement. Reyes nodded. "All ships, assume formation. Prepare for wormhole activation on my mark." Sarah held her breath as the countdown began. They were about to make history, not just for humanity, but for the entire Milky Way. 3, 2, 1, mark. A beam of pure energy shot out from the Explorer, tearing a hole in the very fabric of space. The wormhole blossomed before them, a swirling vortex of blue and white. "All ships, forward," Rice commanded. As the Explorer led the fleet into the unknown, Sarah felt a surge of pride and excitement. Whatever they found in Andromeda, they would face it together as a united galaxy. The ship entered the wormhole, reality bending around them. In that moment, Sarah knew that the true adventure was only just beginning. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through the strength of its fleet, but through the power of its ideas and its unwavering spirit of exploration. The Andromeda Explorer vanished in a flash of light, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of an entire galaxy. The next chapter in the story of galactic civilization was about to unfold. The journey through the wormhole lasted mere seconds, but to the crew of the Andromeda Explorer, it felt like an eternity. Reality twisted and stretched around them, a kaleidoscope of impossible colors flashing past the viewports. Then, suddenly, it was over. "Wormhole transit complete," announced the Sinlara science officer, their energy form flickering with excitement. "We've arrived in the Andromeda galaxy." A cheer went up from the assembled crew. Sarah Chen felt her heart racing as she gazed out at the unfamiliar star patterns. They had done it. They were the first beings from the Milky Way to set foot in another galaxy. Captain Rice was all business, however. "Status report," he barked. "All systems functioning." Various crew members called out their station's status. Everything seemed to be in working order, a testament to the combined engineering skills of multiple species. "Good," Rice nodded. "Now let's find that anomaly." The Andromeda Explorer moved forward, its advanced sensors probing the nearby space. The rest of the fleet emerged from the wormhole behind them, spreading out in a search pattern. Hours passed with no sign of the mysterious energy signature they had detected from the Milky Way. Tension began to build on the bridge. "Could we have made a mistake?" Grakthar growled, his mandibles clicking nervously. Perhaps the anomaly was just a sensor glitch. Sarah shook her head. "No, it was real. We all saw the data. It has to be here somewhere." Just then, an alarm blared. The Arthan sensor operator's exoskeleton rattled with excitement. "Contact. Massive energy spike detected at coordinates 227 by 184. All eyes turned to the main view screen. At first, there was nothing but empty space. Then, slowly, something began to take shape. It was as if reality itself was being peeled back, revealing. By the cosmic egg, Zexeli whispered, all four of his eyes wide with awe. It's a Dyson sphere. The structure that appeared before them was beyond enormous. It was a perfect sphere surrounding a star, capturing all of its energy output. Such a megastructure had been theorized but never before seen. It's impossible, Dr. Patel muttered, furiously analyzing the incoming data. The engineering required. It's centuries beyond even our combined technology. As the explorer drew closer, they could see that the sphere's surface was not smooth, but covered in intricate patterns and structures. It was clearly artificial and clearly ancient. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out from the sphere, enveloping the explorer in a soft blue light. Panic erupted on the bridge. Weapons online. Rice shouted, shields to maximum. But Sarah held up a hand. Wait, look, it's not doing anything harmful. I think it's scanning us. Indeed, the blue light seemed to be passing harmlessly over the ship, probing but not damaging. After a few tense moments, it retreated. Then, to everyone's shock, a voice boomed through the ship's communication systems. It spoke in no language anyone recognized, yet somehow they all understood it perfectly. Welcome, children of the younger galaxy, the voice said, somehow managing to sound both ancient and vibrant. We have been waiting a long time for you to arrive. Silence fell over the bridge. Sarah and Rise exchanged glances. This was far beyond anything they had expected to find. We come in peace, Sarah said, hoping the beings could hear them. We are representatives of the Galactic Unity Council, a coalition of species from the Milky Way galaxy. There was a pause. Then the voice spoke again. Fascinating. You have achieved unity among diverse species. This is good. Perhaps you are ready for the next step. Next step? Grakthar asked, his usual bravado replaced by confusion. What do you mean? The voice seemed to chuckle, though it was hard to tell. The universe is vast, filled with wonders and dangers beyond your imagining. We are the Guardians, tasked with shepherding young civilizations towards cosmic maturity. The implications of this statement were staggering. Sarah felt her mind reeling. You mean, there's a whole cosmic community out there, beyond even Andromeda? Indeed, the voice confirmed. And now you stand on the threshold. Your united fleet, your cooperative spirit, your drive to explore, these have brought you to our attention. The question is, are you ready to take your place among the stars? As the crew of the Andromeda explorer grappled with this revelation, Sarah couldn't help but smile. From a mocked tiny fleet to the brink of cosmic citizenship, humanity and its allies had come so far. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as a united galaxy ready to embrace its destiny among the stars. The crew of the Andromeda explorer stood in awe, facing the holographic projection of the Guardian. Its form shifted constantly, as if struggling to find a shape comprehensible to the diverse group before it. Sarah Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. We are honored by your welcome, Guardian. But I must ask, what exactly does it mean to take our place among the stars? The Guardian's form solidified into something resembling a shimmering tree of light. It means joining a community of civilizations spanning multiple galaxies, sharing knowledge, resources, and responsibilities on a cosmic scale. Captain Rice frowned. Responsibilities? What kind of responsibilities? The universe is vast, but not empty, the Guardian explained. There are threats out there that make your swarm look like a minor inconvenience. Cosmic horrors, reality-bending anomalies, even malevolent elder races. The cosmic community stands guard against these threats. Grakthar's mandibles clicked excitedly. A chance for true battle. Count the Arthon in. But Zexeli raised a cautionary hand. This is a monumental decision. We cannot make it lightly, nor can we make it alone. We must consult with the Galactic Unity Council. The Guardian's light tree form rustled as if in a breeze. Of course, we understand the need for consensus, But know this, the offer stands for a limited time. The cosmic tides are shifting, and we need allies soon. Dr. Patel, who had been furiously taking notes, looked up. How long do we have to decide? 1 of your Earth years, the Guardian replied. Use this time wisely. Learn. Prepare. We will provide you with information to help you understand what awaits. With that, the hologram vanished, leaving the crew in stunned silence. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. The Andromeda explorer established a base camp on an uninhabited planet near the Dyson sphere. Scientists from every species worked around the clock, studying the vast database the Guardians had provided. Meanwhile, Sarah and Captain Rice prepared for their return journey. They needed to report to the Galactic Unity Council and begin the monumental task of preparing their civilization for a possible cosmic leap. As they stood before the wormhole generator, ready to make the jump back to the Milky Way, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Do you think we're ready for this, Captain?" she asked softly. Rice smiled, the lines around his eyes crinkling. "Ready? Probably not. But when has that ever stopped humanity, or any of our allies?" The journey back was instantaneous, but the news they carried would change their galaxy forever. The emergency session of the Galactic Unity Council lasted for weeks. Representatives from every world debated fiercely. Some, like the Arthan, were eager to join the cosmic community. Others, like the cautious Quarians, urged restraint and further study. Humans found themselves in an unexpected role: mediators. Their unique history of rapid advancement and commitment to unity made them the perfect bridge between different viewpoints. Sarah worked tirelessly, moving from one delegation to another, addressing concerns and building consensus. She remembered how, not so long ago, humans had been dismissed as irrelevant in galactic affairs. Now they were helping to shape the future of not just their galaxy, but potentially many others. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. The council chamber was packed, with billions more watching the proceedings via holographic broadcasts across the galaxy. Zexeli called for order, his aged voice carrying the weight of the moment. "The time has come to vote. Do we, the united species of the Milky Way, accept the Guardian's offer to join the cosmic community?" A hush fell over the chamber. One by one, representatives cast their votes. Sarah held her breath, mentally tallying the results. Finally, Zexeli announced the outcome. By a margin of 73%, the motion carries. We will join the cosmic community. Cheers erupted throughout the chamber and across the galaxy. Sarah felt tears in her eyes as she was engulfed in a multi-species group hug. They had done it. They had chosen to take a leap into the unknown together. In the following months, preparations began in earnest. The combined fleet was expanded and upgraded. Educational programs were launched to prepare citizens for the new cosmic reality. And always, the countdown to the Guardian's deadline ticked on. On the final day, Sarah found herself back on the bridge of the Andromeda explorer, leading a much larger fleet back through the wormhole. As they emerged in Andromeda, the Dyson sphere glowed before them, a beacon of advanced civilization and new beginnings. The Guardian appeared once more, its form now a swirling galaxy in miniature. "You have returned, and you have chosen to join us. Welcome, children of the Milky Way, to the cosmic stage." As formalities were exchanged and protocols enacted, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. From a mocked tiny fleet to representatives of their galaxy in a cosmic civilization, it was almost too much to believe. Yet here they were, humanity and its allies, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges the universe had in store, together. The adventure was just beginning.